Anna Gardner standing by, executive producer of Chicago Stories on WTTW. Anna, do you have one? Do you have a song that you love and everybody else really doesn't like it?
That's my song, Tom. That's it. You just played it for me.
Tub thumping, Chumbawamba?
Exactly.
Yeah. Whatever happened to Chum? You know what? I sort of think. Remember when Darren Bailey said, "I think he meant Chumbawamba."
He was just confused.
So, all right, Chicago Stories on WTTW premieres tonight, 8 o'clock. New episodes every Friday. Sell it.
That's right. We hope you're going to tune in. This is our amazing series that looks at the history and the diversity of this great city that we're in. And tonight, our premiere episode is on 8 o'clock on WTTW. And this is focusing on the incredible story of the Our Lady of the Angels fire, school fire in 1958. And 92 children and 3 nuns perished in this tragic event. But we are taking an inside look, talking to some incredible survivors who recount this event, just like it was yesterday. And it's a pretty poignant story, a lot of resiliency and hope and courage woven into this tragedy.
Well, the whole entire season, I mean, you take a deep dive into some of the greatest people, events, places that happen in Chicago. I'm looking at all the, different previews of the shows coming up, and what a great gig, huh?
Yes.
How fun is this job for you?
Oh, it's honestly the best. I get to, learn so much about the city. We have an incredible team to work with. Every day is different. Every story is different. Yeah, I sort of pinch myself. I'm loving it.
And you get to show off at Thanksgiving because you're the one that always knows stuff at the table.
Yeah, right, exactly. And my kids finally think, mom's kind of cool, because they can see my work on TV. So that's always exciting.
And you're helping them cheat with their homework, which we respect.
Yeah, right.
So what has surprised you about tonight or about episodes still to come? Because I know when you do a show like this, anything in the documentary world, people who think they know the topic go, "Oh my God, I didn't know that."
Oh, every show, there are surprises. I mean, you always think you know the story, but that's what's so great about this series is we go so much deeper. There are always unbelievable tidbits and anecdotes and stories and people that you don't know about. In the premiere we have tonight, the school fire, our producer was digging around, trying to find archive everywhere and uncovered a reel from a fire department that was filming the day of this fire. And so in our piece tonight, we have some incredible footage that has not been seen, that we restored, improved the color on. And so you can see firsthand, this unbelievable tragedy unfolding. I mean, it's hard to watch, but it's important to watch.
Well, part of the story of the city.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Each of these are, they're all, the reason we tell these is not only are they compelling stories, but they are events that are still impacting us. They're still relevant today. We can learn a lot through history, looking back.
Well, you did one with the reversal of the river. That's coming up this season, right?
Correct. That's actually, so that's next Friday.
It's fascinating.
It is. I think, most people, if they're downtown having dinner along the river, having a drink, they may not even realize that river is running backwards. And if they do, they probably don't know why. And so this is a pretty compelling story digging into the why of that. And really, it was because this city never could have survived. The river was incredibly polluted. We were built on a swamp. There was no sewage. And that river was flowing into the river where we get our drinking water.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, so it's a pretty incredible feat of engineering to save this city.
Well, I think a lot of people know that the water is reversed, but when you actually, because each one of these stories, you have a website that kind of gives the backstory to it, which makes you want to watch the actual the show, but it gets you intrigued. But you have always been a storyteller. This is great Chicago stories, but you've done documentaries for so many other networks. Have you always been interested in sort of doing the research and then telling everybody about it?
Yes, storytelling is a passion. And what's so much fun about being, a producer and a writer is every job I take is completely different. I've done a lot of documentaries, American Greed on CNBC, a lot of fraud stories. I've done a lot of crime stories. Every show's different, worked with nonprofits, but this is so much fun to dig into the deep and rich history of the city I live in.
Because Chicago is a world city, a lot of these stories have been told in different ways before, so you need to find different ways to tell the story, different narratives for them. And in a lot of cases, you're using the same sort of archival footage because it's what's available. How tough are those meetings to go through?
Digging through archive is a huge part of this process. But while these stories have been told, we are taking a really fresh look at them. Again, the facts are there, but we are bringing, a 2023 visual approach. So we've got some really amazing graphics. We've got, like I said, we can restore footage. We can bring things to better color than anyone's seen before. We can find new sources, so, and again, with the passage of time, we look at these through a different lens. And so it's fun to take these older stories, but again, give them a current update.
And every Friday night, new episodes, The Real Madmen of Chicago. We know
Chicago was
Mad Men.
It was like the number one advertising agency city in the country. And this is where it all started. Like these iconic, characters and figures.
Yes. Chicago is the start of so many things. One of our shows this season is called Candy Capital. We're talking, a fun one. We're talking about all the candy companies that began here. The brands we know and love today, they all started in Chicago, and a lot of people may not realize that. So really, so many different industries and businesses began in Chicago.
If you go to WTTW.com/Chicago-stories, the archive section is great as well. And you can catch up on your own time. Inventing Improv is great. The Jane Byrne episode, because there's a woman who was a history maker and a trendsetter, and is she being remembered properly? So nice job by all you guys on the team.
Thank you so much. We have an excellent team. We're proud of this work.
And keep it up, because, we need you to get out there and continue to tell those stories. You got to tell those stories so people remember.
That's right. Thank you and like you said, that website we have, ttw.com/Chicago stories. We have incredible companion websites to each of these episodes with all sorts of specially curated information and stories that are not in the show. So check that out as well.
Next summer, of course, we've got NASCAR back. We've got a convention here, one up the road in Milwaukee in the 2024 election. So you might as well go ahead and pre-write that one now. Why wait for the history?
Start filming, yes.
All right, Anna, thank you.
We're going to be busy.
Thanks, Anna.